Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we're going to be talking about all of the Ascendable champions that we are aware of as of right now. This coming Friday we will find out additional champions in Mutant and Tech class that will be available to be ascended, because we do not have the full base pools of those, but we're going to cross that bridge when we get to it. And in this video, most specifically, we're going to be talking about best champions to potentially ascend and rank up. However, it is extremely important to note that we're looking at it from a very certain perspective, because we are going to be dealing and discussing the use of rank 5 materials as well as, ascension items that are likely set to be quite rare and hard to acquire, set to be chase items. I don't want to hear zip, zilch, nada about, oh, Gore's actually amazing or Patriot's obviously the best choice. None of that crap. This is not to do with anybody's personal individual pet peeves or likes. This is to do with the situation in the meta and kind of the most relevant, most likely meta rank ups that make most sense. So since we are again dealing with the highest resources in the game, we're not taking anything to do with kind of like casual gameplay aside. Obviously, keep in mind this is a game and you can do whatever you want with your account that helps you enjoy this game better. Absolutely, and as you should. However, you do not get to have me or tell me that I should recommend those rank ups for everybody just because you like them. Like every video I make, somebody is gonna come in the comment section. It's like, oh, Gore's actually awesome. You're just sleeping on him. It's like, who gives a shit? Gore's not awesome. Gore's not relevant. Gore's not high prestige. Gore's not like a meaningful addition to anybody in any content. Now, you can use Gore and you can do things with Gore, but you cannot tell me or anybody else that, there aren't enough champions in the game that do the same thing more, better, more efficiently, so on and so forth. Because the way I view the game and the way I also base my advices from is I realize that the champions exist in competition with each other. They do not just get to be awesome or get to be great rank up choices. Now, you can make them. That's great. It's game. Like, you do what makes you happy. But when it comes to me giving advice, these are very clear, kind of like set reasons, set parameters, qualifications that we are adhering to. So number one, it is going to be viability in Alliance War and Battlegrounds. Number two, it's going to be prestige, which also matters a lot for the biggest of the whales. Now, on the flip side, if you are a whale and you do have lackadaisical attitude towards the game and you just play casually, first of all, I tip my hat off to you. Thank you for keeping the game alive. And this video doesn't really do much for you. You're gonna whale out and you're gonna do whatever you want anyway. Right. So here we're gonna be going class by class, and I'm gonna be breaking down the available options, and I will be suggesting the most reasonable choices for rank 5 or for ascension. Bear with me here. However, I do want to emphasize that at this point, I don't think the fact that champion is ascendable should be your primary thought process of whether you do rank up that champion to rank 5. I'm going to get to that a bit later. But as of right now, I think you should just rank 5 the best champions. That's going to be a separate video that I will release either later today or tomorrow. But just because the champion ascension pool doesn't mean that you should rank that champion up. Likewise, just because we think we're probably not going to get to ascend those champions for a while, it's no barrier to entry at this point at all. Especially because, half a year down the line, we're going to have plenty of rank 5s anyways, and all of this, is going to adjust with extra champions being available to be ascended, and so on and so forth. Right, and first things first, science class, I really don't like any of the options that are available. I would not personally want to rank 5 and rush to ascend any of those champions in there. And yeah, if I get the rank 4 to 5 science rank up gem, it'll be none of these champions. It'll be like Spider-Woman, it'll be like Photon, something like that. However, if you do want a rank 5 champion that is to be ascended, then there's only kind of like 3 reasonable directions to go with. Number 1, High Evolutionary, because of his number 1 spot in Prestige, and some moderate value in defense. Again, it is not the type of rank up that, you know, I think anybody would be happy to do, really. Then second thing is we do have Spider-Punk, reasonably high prestige, and reasonable value utility that could potentially, you know, benefit from that extra rank and ascension, because he's the type champion that would do reasonably well punching down. And he can take some finicky matchups, like for instance Zola as well. So Spider-Punk I think is kind of like a mixture there. With 4 to 5 gem right now, again I'd still probably just do Photon, but Spider-Punk kind of makes sense. And Blue Marvel's kind of 4th highest in prestige in untested waters, but, you know, again, I'd be kind of hesitant to do that. Overall, Science class, I'm not a big fan of the choices there, and again, I don't think at this point in the game, being an Ascension pool with these choices would be strong enough argument for me to kind of like immediately choose them as my rank 5 options. Right, let's move on. Then we have Skill, and Skill's better. Skill, we have Baron Zemo, Buffed Korg, Black Panther Civil War, Okoye Light, and potentially on Hitmonkey as feasible options, right? So that's, you know, reasonable choice setup there. Again, in skill class, if the choice is which champion I want to rank 5 first, I just pick Nick Fury or Okoye. Probably Nick Fury. But I do think that Black Panther Civil War all of a sudden has become a lot more alluring option, because Black Panther Civil War is kind of an underrated champion still due to his SIG 200 requirement, so he kind of requires you to take that full-on plunge. And also his viability and value often comes and goes with his ability to kind of nuke with that level 2. So an extra rank will be super helpful for him, as well as Ascension, so I do think that is a reasonably good pick. As well as actually Baron Zemo, because again, first of all, Zemogate was a real thing, absolutely it was. And Kabam is forcing this little cricket on us all the freaking time. And he just is quite useful, defensively and offensively, for Alliance War defense, for some specific metas. He does have top 15 prestige, so if you like Zemo, I do think he's a perfectly reasonable option to go with as well. And then I would kind of want to see how well Korg does before I kind of like endorse him, because I'm kind of interested in that. But those would be like Black Panther Civil War, I think, is kind of like the best pick here. Then, moving on to the Mutants, again, to be completely honest, I don't recommend rushing to ascend or rank up any of these champions, like, really. Like, I think Mutants so far, I mean, obviously we don't know what Pixie does, but if I get a Mutant 4 to 5 gem, again, just like in the previous situation, I would just rank up, you know, Jean Grey or Onslaught, really. That's about it. When it comes, like, if I have to ascend somebody, again, I really don't want to. I think Mutant selections so far suck, but we have yet to find out the full Ascendable list. Then we have Tech, and Tech's Penny is the best one there. If you are adamant that you want to rank up and send somebody immediately, then I'd go Penny. Wouldn't do any other. Aside from that, again, rank 5 options, I'd much rather pick up, like, Jack or, I don't know, Shocker or something over them. But yeah, Penny I think is still reasonably competitive enough champion to be worth that choice. Now in Cosmic class, again, I'm very interested in Vision Arcus buff, but that discounting, you know, Nova is a nice niche choice. If you really like that champion, I think that would make sense. I wouldn't kind of like look twice at that decision. But other than that, you know, obviously Adam Warlock does have some huge fan following. Some people will do rank up Adam Warlock regardless of what I say. It's not for me personally, so if you really want to, but it's not something I encourage. I still think it's hard to beat the Thanos and Serpent options. Even with extra rank, punching down to rank 4s and Ascension, I just can't see Corvus being a relevant champion consistently for like Battlegrounds and stuff. So it's not a choice that I would make either, outside of like obviously something like an Invade meta where he would likely do well. But I just don't think that without a rework, Corvus is going to be consistently relevant ever again. Gore, absolutely fucking not. That's a very, very bad addition there. And Cersei, again, it's like if you're a fanatic, fine, but it's not a recommendation that I would make. So Cosmic class, again, I don't think any of these are like a great option that you should be ranking up immediately. And kind of ironically, I think Mystic class has by far and away the best build. Because in Mystic class, there's like 3 legitimate, reasonable options that I think would kind of justify it. Number one, I think Mystic Spidey, Peter Pavitr, is by far and away the best choice overall to take to rank 5 from all aspects combined. Because Ascendable, yes. High prestige, yes. Great champion and useful in, game modes, absolutely. So he kind of ticks all the boxes. So that is the first takeaway here. I do think Mystic Spidey is the best rank of choice that you can make right now that fits all the boxes if you also want your first rank 5 to be Ascendable. So that makes a lot of sense to me. And Mystic rank 4 to 5 gem right now, today, I'm giving to Mystic Spidey. Obviously, again, there are other options like, Nico, which objectively the better champion, I think. But if you're taking in consideration prestige and ascendability, Mystic Spidey makes most sense. And then additionally, I think Doctor Strange is a very solid pick, reasonably good prestige. I think he's going to be a reasonably good champion. A lot of people really love him, so I wouldn't bat an eye on somebody with a rank 5 ascended Doctor Strange either. That makes a lot of sense to me. And even better than Doctor Strange is Kindred, because he is, again, a very viable defender. At a higher rank, he still always has been like somewhat passable attacker as well in, right matchups and situations. But defensively, he's just one of those champions that seemingly is always there, always relevant. So I do think that Kindred is also a fantastic choice, especially if you like to go that way. Again, defensive value, moderate to mild offensive one, but if he's going to be punching down, that's probably going to help him for a while. Reasonably good prestige around the 30s, and again, viability in the most competitive game modes, that is what you want. So okay prestige, and good on Balion's defense, and good for Lancewood defense as well. So to me, the best rank up choice is Pavitr, second best is probably Kindred, and the third, fourth ones from this list here would be Penny and Doctor Strange. And also Black Panther Civil War. That is like top 5. Those are the 5 champions I would go with and says like, yeah, okay, it makes sense if you do want to rank them up. However, yet again, like I want to emphasize this the last time, just because champions not necessarily going to be available to be ascended does not mean you should not rank them up right now. So, let me know what you guys think, and I'm going to catch you soon. Bye-bye. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about